your story. Yeah, super excited to be here today with my co-host Seth Mulder, the storyteller himself. You guys, it's about it's about sharing our stories. I mean, wait until you hear Seth and the way he puts together stories. Quite a storyteller, and that's what makes him so successful. I will tell you, Seth has built multiple multi-million dollar businesses, sold and experienced, I mean, many different industries. And the one thing they all have in common is enticing and enrolling the customers, the audience, and they need to know who you are, what you're about. And so that's the whole thing. How do you go about sharing who you are so people want you, so people want your products and services? And so that's why Seth is here. Together, we're going to be having a little bit of a masterminding thing going on. We'll be sharing some cool stuff with you from our perspectives. So if you like to be a fly on the wall, this is the place to be. Hey, Seth, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, and it's an honor. It's a privilege. I really appreciate you and what you bring. What people, I was going to say what you bring to the marketplace, but that sounds like nobody cares about the marketplace. We all care about us, right? You care about your marketplace. I don't, the economy. Let's talk about my personal economy. So I appreciate what you for people, real people. Some of my real close associates, friends, business partners in the world of entrepreneurship. When I love reading what they say about you,
Oh,
what Anne says is gold, right? What Anne says is gold. If we could just, we're going to talk about today actually how you can translate what you're offering to the world and entrepreneurs primarily, um, how you can turn those words of Anne into gold, right? So I am here with Mrs. Goldfinger, Miss Goldfinger herself.
okay. Well, let's see, Miss Goldfinger. I don't know. There's a bit of a 007 thing going on here.
You
Oh
got
my
that. You're
God.
right.
Okay. we're going there, right? Aren't we? No, you guys. Okay. So you get away. I'm excited about doing this with Seth because, when we can bring our imagination, and I was loving hearing him describe who I am. I'm like, really? How cool is that?
I
And
need to
he
meet
has,
that lady, right?
yeah, right. I want to meet her, And so, but this is actually on point here. If you can tell not only your story but somebody else's story better than they can tell themselves, I mean, think about how exciting it is. And we love third party edifications, but when it gets right down to it, isn't it always when somebody's talking about us, they're telling a story of their perception of who we are? So, when we say a story, it's always a perception, a thought, somebody's point of view of a product or service or a person or whatever. So, and that's what this whole thing is about. And I was actually pleasantly surprised with Seth's point of view of what I bring to the market, to the people. Yeah, but here's the thing. Now, and by the way, if you can't tell already, this is pretty casual. We're just kind of going back and forth. We're ping ponging ideas here, right? Yes, you agree, Seth. He's ready
Yeah,
with his cup of coffee.
yeah.
Energy.
I already said you sent that. You didn't see you pinged. I already ponged back. The pong was my eyebrow lifter here. Yeah, it's back to you. So yeah, we're
Uh,
we're we're just super cash. I, you've given me like 5 ideas in the last 2 minutes and things I'm going to jump in and say. But yeah, we're going to have some fun and just chat about story and how important it is to business, how important it is to life. I love one of the things you talked about, and I think we'll have time to jump into it today. The ability to tell your story, so critical, and the ability to share other people's stories. I was telling a little about your story, how you've impacted me. I've got an amazing story to tell everybody when we're ready. But anyway, back to you.
Oh, this is the open loop thing, right? When you start a story, you leave it, and then people are waiting for it to, for the continuation of the saga. Oh my God! Look at all the stuff he's weaving in here, you guys. Right? This is pretty cool. Just pay attention because I have no idea what he's going to drop in here in the next few minutes. Okay. So so now I even lost my train of thought. Like, okay, so let's get to it. But we do want to give you like a a framework to go with. Okay, so the thing about whenever you're telling a story, you want to bring a little bit of a drama into it, bring a little bit of the Hollywood sizzle into it. And what does that mean? So it's about sharing a story where people can be engaged with all of their senses. So the more descriptive you are, the more engaged they're going to be. So think about who is involved with the story, where is the story happening, can you describe some of what's going on? Maybe the noise, maybe the smells, maybe the sounds, whatever, anything that's happening. If you can bring it into the story as you're describing it, it's going to be a lot more dramatic. So, and I want you to start thinking about that, because most people dive right into the story. That, they talk about the what aspect of it without engaging the senses. So with that, Seth, you're so good at engaging the senses. It's part of it has to do with how animated you are when telling a
Mhm.
story. You're just so enjoying it yourself. So is that part of your secret? Yeah.
Yes. Like, if you're not having fun, if you're not feeling it, like, why is fun fun? I don't think fun is fun because it's just intellectually stimulating. That's fun. No. No, fun is fun because it's emotional. It's sensual. Now, don't take that the wrong way. But what I mean is it's emotional and we're touching the senses. Uh, Case in point, Anne, you and I were on with a number of entrepreneurs from literally all over the world last
Yeah.
night. And one of those entrepreneurs, by the way, she happens to be a former vice president for a $6 billion food company. If you've ever heard of brands like Nestle or, you know, anyway, I mean, yeah, she was a vice president of marketing. Okay, incredible story, incredible woman with an incredible story. And I've heard her story because I work really closely with her in my professional life. I've heard it many times. But there's and you were talking about engaging the senses, emotions, feelings, fact telling, or timeline sharing is not necessarily storytelling. It's not necessarily drama. And last night, this dear friend of ours shared parts of her story that I had never heard. And as I listened to her, it engaged my senses in a way that she had never done before, because she, instead of maybe sharing some of the details or just the facts, she was able to take me there. I felt like I was right there. It was really a life-changing situation. It was actually an injury that she'd had, changed the trajectory of her life. But she engaged my senses, and I was right there. And I think that's so important. Again, if you want to story tell, if you want to engage people, if you want people to know, like, and trust you, they got to feel you, and you have to take them on a journey as soon as possible with their senses, without getting overly dramatic, without being, I mean, if you lay so much frosting on the cake that you can't taste the cake, then maybe we've just done too much sugar overload, right?
Yeah, no, you're so spot on with it. And I was there when she was sharing the story, and I had heard her story before. But and you know what? We're going to toot our horn here. And the reason she was able to bring in that drama into it and share her story from a whole different perspective, where she was more engaging, is because she had actually attended a master class that Seth and I did. Oh, by the way, you guys, I'll put up the link. It's a free master class. Feel free to go and watch it, where we really break down the different aspects of telling a story, including your lifestyle declaration, your personal declaration. So, anyways, share more with you about it. Again, it's a free masterclass that we'd love to share with you. But here's going back to the story. Um, you don't need longer stories, you need more impactful stories. So even if you have 2 minutes, well, a lot of the experts been training over the years, they were interviewing on network television. Well, when you're on breaking news shows, you have 1 to 3 minutes. So that means you have to be very succinct, very on point, and leverage every second. And you don't need a lot of time to actually tell a story or tell somebody's story. A lot of times you see when they're being interviewed, they will give you an example of what happened, describe a case study. It's telling a story. So when you're sharing some of the work you're doing with your clients, or maybe some of the products that you have, how people have used it, the results they've got, it's a story. So how you tell the story makes all the difference. I don't know about you, but there are a lot of people that will engage me, with their stories, and there are a lot more, unfortunately, who do not. Either they go on too long, or there's not enough excitement within the story to keep us engaged. So it's kind of a dance we have to learn how to do. But there is a formula to do it. It's about practicing. But the thing that I do want to touch on here, Seth, you have had multiple multi-million-dollar businesses because you are a leader with a heart. You have a vision. I mean, you're a businessman. You know what you're doing. You can lead. But the thing about you that kind of jumps out is that you do see people, you engage with people. And one of the things that's very engaging is when you share your mission, when you share your vision, and I don't care who it is. If think of any leader in history, they are great storytellers. They're able to share their vision with compassion, with passion, with power. All these things that are engaged, and so people will follow. Because if we're not clear on your vision, we're not going to follow you. And that you do so well. So let's talk about that, because whether we're leading one, whether we're leading a million, it's still the same process. How do you share your vision for where you're going so people say, "Ooh, I want to go with you. Take me with you. Let's go." So let's get to that.
Well, I just had an experience this morning, and I want to bring this in. I want to prep that by saying this. I was training a group of entrepreneurs, actually doing a work session with some women entrepreneurs. That's my mojo. That's my mission. I'll get to that this morning. And we were talking about sharing your story. We're specifically talking about social media, because a lot of people are wanting to engage with social media, right? Twitter, Facebook, Reels, Instagram, Pinterest. And I said, don't get so caught up in having to say everything on one piece of content. Don't worry. There's a one magic piece of content. There is no one magic piece of content that's going to make everything for you. There's one piece of content, at least, that you need to create today, right now. That's where you should focus. But your story, I want you to play the long game. Okay. I want you to play the long game in your story creation when it comes to social media. Every vignette, every story, every post. When I say story, I mean technical Instagram story, right? Up 24 hours and disappeared. You're playing the long game, and each one of those is a little vignette about your story. So I had one of those vignettes this morning. I had an appointment on Zoom with a phenomenal woman entrepreneur. She's not a candidate. I recruit a lot of women in the entrepreneurial space to come build business with me. I'm really an entrepreneur. That's what I love to do. And I love to champion women in business. But she's not a candidate for me right now, okay? Because she's engaged elsewhere. And she's engaged at one of my competitors, all right? I call them colleagues because I think we're all doing this for fun, okay? And I bless her in there. So I was not going at this in the mindset, oh, this is a recruiting meeting. I was really going here because I wanted to collaborate on some things that she'd done. And automatically, because I'm already always telling my story, she comes to me, Ann, this morning, and she says, Seth, Tell me what you are doing. How did the event go? And I'm thinking, okay, we haven't talked in 6 weeks. Her name's Nancy. Nancy from the Midwest, just lovely, lovely. You'll probably hear more about her because and in fact, I need to introduce her to you. She wants to meet you.
Oh,
I'm thinking, what event? Right. I'm doing a lot of events. I'm full tilt, 100%. She's like, well, yeah, this women's community. I'm like, oh yeah. So I told Nancy about 6 weeks ago that I was speaking at an international conference of women. I was keynote speaking about transformation, personal story building, transformation, declaration statements. And I said, oh yeah, here's what are we doing? She said, well, tell me about that. And I said, well, here are the other two keynote speakers, women at the top of their markets. Like, I'm thinking, how did I get paired? How did I get in the trio with these amazing women? And Nancy said, Seth, that's weird. That's odd that you're the man with these women. I said, well, Nancy, that's my mission. My mission is to champion women. I'm that guy. I'm the world's leading authority on helping women be successful, crush it in life and business in my space. And again, this story was just exuding from me. I'm telling you, she then goes in to 30 minutes and of her story. It was beautiful. My story engaged her story, and we took that conversation in a way that I had no idea that we would. Tell you what I'm to help me. Then telling me about this idea that she has and telling me stories. And it was just amazing. It was folks, she was giving me a business plan that could touch the hearts of 30 million American, pardon me, when I say American, I mean US based, okay, women in this culture, like, I don't know, or she had
okay.
a message. So what's interesting to me is,
hold on.
yeah,
So yeah, we're having a bit of stack. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Hold on. Don't move your hand so much in front of the camera because every time it tries to focus on catching whatever is moving in front of it. So let's see if we can get more of you because this is so amazing. Now here's what I'm getting. Now that I interrupted you, as you're sharing that, I'm going. She is sharing her story, sharing her plan of impacting 30 million women because you shared with her your passion, your vision about empowering women, entrepreneurial women. That's where your passion is. And just the way you were sharing it, you could see the excitement. You could see it was real. You were excited about it. It was showing up in everything that you were doing, including freaking out the camera because you were moving around so much. Right? So, but anyway, but that's a perfect. That, now you're trying to be still.
I'm in a box. I'm in the frame. I'm not going to move. I'm in the frame.
See that? There you go. Be in the moment. You guys, you may want to go take some improv classes, right? I don't. It helps. But seriously, let's get it on the serious side. As you were sharing about your passion and your vision to support women, that's what you're about. Then I'm guessing she went. He wants to support me. I'm a woman on a mission. I have a big plan, and I have somebody who wants to be there to support me, to champion me, to get me. So yeah, I'm going to share. And here's the thing that's really important. Um, we are all looking for somebody to understand us, to hold our vision, to support us whenever we're sharing something, especially entrepreneurs, right? Our family may say, what are you doing? You're taking a risk. Why would you do that? That there are a lot of naysayers. So whenever we're going for something big, I don't know what her business is, but 30 million women, That's a big vision. So I'm guessing not many people would be holding that vision, holding the space for her. So as soon as, he was sharing about what he's doing with the vision that he had, he shared at the women's conference, the only man with the other two super powerful women that were there. I mean, all of those things that he was sharing, it keeps adding up. You're a woman. You're a powerful woman. I see you. I acknowledge you. And you guys, you get the story. I'm dissecting what Seth is doing. That's how powerful leaders enroll powerful people. Because when you can hold somebody else's vision, especially a big vision, and when you can say, I see you, oh, it's beautiful. Because most people are, I know, most of us, let's say, we're fighting to be understood. Everybody is trying to speak louder than the other. Maybe if I scream louder, I'm going to be heard. No, that's not it. It's when we listen and connect with the other person, when we know what they're sharing and we respond, we receive. That's when magic happens. And here's the other part. Seth shares powerful stories about connecting with powerful women because he understands their mindset. He understands their vision. And it just so happens that his vision is aligned with these women, including me, right? That's why we connected, because when I started sharing my vision for what I want to do, what I am doing, he was like, oh, I get it. And dot, dot, dot. Here's the add on, here's the support, and vice versa. So I want you to, the other thing I want to point out, I'm kind of dissecting here, Seth, but that was so powerful. You don't have to go into a long dialogue, a dramatic story you share from start to finish. A few words, like what he was saying. Oh, I was the only man with these two powerful women. When I was sharing with her how I'm passionate about supporting, that's a story. He's talking about how passionate he is about supporting powerful women. And she's right there sitting in front of him or on Zoom. You guys get this? Share your vision, share your mission, share your passion about the people you're passionate about supporting. Anyway, so let's get back to you, Seth. After a long intermittent.
No, that was beautiful. One of the things, Anne, that you continue to wow me is your ability to this dissecting. And I know you're taking that to the community that you're serving. You're able to take something beautiful, and we're talking about storytelling, or this dialogue that I had with this incredible entrepreneur from the Midwest this morning, and you're able to pull out the salient, right, foundational parts, so that we can, it's in all of your work. Like, the more of your work that I see, I mean, I dove into a bunch of your work. I'm always screenshotting your work. I see this. It's, oh, you want to do what we just did here? All right. 1, 2, 3. 3A. Now let's do it. Right. So I had to acknowledge that, because I'm watching this unfold extemporaneously, right? We're just kind of chewing the fat here. You talked about this interaction I had today, and you helped me realize, yeah, I was telling this story. Hey, Seth, how was the event? What event? Oh, let me tell you about this event. And that's exactly what I did. Oh, I gotta keep my arms. I gotta tell you about this event. I'm gonna be just as excited without moving my arms.
You look like you're at a football game. The goal.
Now, the problem with doing this is I'm actually not burning as many calories. So my little Apple Watch is going to dock me calories, because when I was doing this, it was better. But that's exactly what I did. I said, oh, let me tell you about this event, because it was it was a very powerful event. Let me tell you who was there. Let me tell you who keynoted. And she's like, well, and what was your role, Seth? I said, well, I was one of those 3. Oh, right. So I took her there essentially, and she was seeing one of the speakers, Kathy, is the number 1 recognized woman in the world. Okay. In a $325 billion industry. She's the most influential woman, I think, is what she's been acknowledged as. So that was one of my colleague keynote speakers. And I highlighted the other one. So I was actually telling their story, right? Which, because I was on the same stage, I didn't have to go. I didn't have to go and say how great I am, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and she said,
Absolutely.
Seth, how did you get there being the male? And I said, well, I'm an evolved man, right? I mean, I get it. And then I got personal. I said, Nancy, why am I so passionate about championing women in business? My mom was a single mom. When I came into this world, my mom and I were all that was there. I'm all she had, and she was all I had. And then when I married my wife, Stephanie, between her and God, being able to be, a mom, single mom, doing everything. I'm talking about doing everything alone, right? In that town where I met her on the dance floor, by the way, story for another time. But financially, spiritually, emotionally, being alone, away from home, doing everything. I said, Nancy, I've worked with women my entire life. My first mentor, my first two mentors actually just came to me. Let me add to the story. My first two mentors in the world of business as an entrepreneur, guess what? Yeah,
They
that's
were
where I'm going.
women.
They
Yeah.
were women, and one was actually a single mom. So I said, Nancy, I'm never going to be a woman. And so that means I've got to work even harder because I work with women. So I am kind of like the Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other. So I'm going to have to work harder, but that's what makes me quality. That's what drew me to this. I can be passionate. I can be nurturing. I can be vulnerable. I can do some of those things that women are really, really at. And I don't empower women, but I can be a conduit. I can be a support to see them empower themselves. And I'm going to tell you, that's kind of when there was a shift, literally a shift. And this collaborative meeting that we had today went into a completely different zone where it was like being in a safe place. And I
Yeah.
saw her light up, and she lit me up then with the story. Then she told her story. And guess what? For the next 25 minutes, I did just like you said, I did a lot of listening because she was telling me her story.
And you are a great listener. And because I've experienced that with you and the power of listening. And here's the other part. If we are to connect with the people we want to serve heart to heart, first we need to know where our heart is. Who is it that we want to serve? And you heard Seth. He's passionate because of his mom. He's passionate because when he met his wife, single mom, understands the challenges, the struggles of a single mom. He watched his mom. He knows what it's like to be a single mom. So when he, even in a personal life, you guys, this isn't just about business. So when he met his wife on the dance floor, that's a whole another story. When he says, well, who are you? What do you do? She said, I'm a single mom. He was not, oh my God, let me get away from me. He was like, oh, I get it. Tell me
Ding ding
more.
ding
The
ding
antenna,
ding ding
yeah.
ding 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 ding
Yeah.
ding.
So whereas a lot of other men would say, "Oh my God, somebody else's kids. I don't know, if she's got problems, whatever. I don't want to hear it." He was leaning in when others would be leaning out. And this is the beauty of this, you guys. When you know who it is that you're meant to serve, where is your heart? And now we're going into marketing, but that's not where I'm diving in. But here's the thing: regardless of what niche you choose, there are always more than enough people who need your help. Okay. There are 8 billion people on the planet. So even if you go way down in a niche, there are plenty of people you can support. Honestly, how many people can you support in a month? Think about that, right? There are more people than you could possibly support. So don't be afraid to actually give yourself permission. This is it. Give yourself permission to say, who do I really want to serve? Who makes my heart sing? Who makes my passion come to the top? Who is it that when I work with, I'm like, yes, I did it? That's who you want to really zero in on. So when you are sharing stories, just like Seth was sharing about being on a stage with these powerful women, whatever woman he speaks with, if they're powerful, they're going to be attracted to his message. If they're not, they're not going to come to him. Because if a woman doesn't see herself as powerful, doesn't see herself going out there making a difference, she's not going to go to somebody who says, let's go make a difference. You see this? But if you see yourself as powerful, or somebody who says, I want to be more powerful, I want to be more impactful, I have a vision, and they see somebody who is a leader can take you there, they're going to at the very least start following and paying attention. So this is when you get to groom and grow your own ideal clients. First, it starts with them being attracted to you because you're being who you are, being yourself, whatever that may be. I talk fast. I get energized. I'm straight to the point. And so people who don't like, people like me, they're not going to be attracted to me. But when I get fired up, I lift people up and come on, here's an idea. Let's go. Let's do this. I get things moving. And so I attract people who like to say, let's go, let's do this. And those who want to take a year to think about something usually don't come very close to me. They get inspired. They may put the ideas to work, but they keep a distance. So the reason I'm sharing this is that don't worry about sharing whatever you want to share authentically, who you are and what you're passionate about, because even if they don't have, I don't know, maybe seven things that you happen to mention that you happen to like in your ideal client, even if they have two or three of it, they're going to be attracted to your message. They're not being your bullseye, but they're in the outer ring. So you can make a difference for people, you can inspire people. And just like I know Seth is inspiring a lot of women because he says, I get you. And they're like, if they feel understood, they're going to pay attention. So anyways, I went right back into teaching here. I can't help
That's great.
myself.
That's
I
great.
can't
Don't
help
help
myself.
yourself. Keep it going. Keep it going.
No,
And you
well,
said
we got to
something.
wrap it up anyways. Yeah, we have to wrap this up because you do want to keep it like at 30 minutes so people are more likely to, watch it all the way through. On social media, we're also pressed for time. So, Seth, and I just want to come back to you. If you could say one thing to a powerful woman, what would it be? One thought.
If you don't show up, if you choose to play small, if you choose to settle for where you are, I work with a lot of women who are really good at what they do, but they want more, right? And they know they're going to have to make a shift. I'm thinking of a woman right now in South Africa. Okay, top level in the banking system, but not fulfilled, right? So here's the message, and it's not going to be the flowery message, like let's go, go and live your mission. I believe in all that too, but it's the harsh reality. It's the harsh reality that if you don't clarify story, if you don't follow your passion, and if you don't go share that, nothing happens, and you'll never realize what you might have been.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you. So, you guys, if you look at the link that's on the screen right now, that's the free masterclass that Seth and I did, where we covered a unique influencer code, so you know what makes you stand out. How do you find those gems in your uniqueness, so you're not competing or being compared to anybody else, right? Next, we actually shared the mechanism, if you will, the structure of a story, right? How do you tell the story? I kind of alluded to it about the passion of it. Where were you? Who was in it? And what was the news? What was the problem? How was it solved? And what are the results? That's the framework. But go watch that masterclass. The other thing that we also did was I did a little bit of a little mindset shift, overcoming the fear of the camera, if you will, what I call the reluctant celebrity syndrome. But then Seth actually shared his declaration, right? And the steps that it takes to craft your declaration. So what is a declaration? Before you get anything done, you have to have a vision. Well, how do you put that vision into a letter to yourself, to the universe, to the people you want to share with, wherever it's going. Verbalizing your vision is the key. Putting your plans together is great. We all put our plans together. But then when you can take your plans and turn it into a story that you get excited about, how do you share your vision? How do you share what you want? So, anyways, brilliant, brilliant example, because Seth actually shares his declaration, his words. You definitely want to go watch that because you can actually use it as a template, steal some of his verbiage because, hey, listen, multiple multi-million dollar businesses, he's inspiring somebody, or is he inspiring a lot of people? I know I'm inspired. Anyway, so yeah, so this I'm telling people to go and copy your letter. Okay, so are
Do
you
it.
are you
Do it. I'm totally okay with that because the secret is, in that masterclass, I share the letter. It's really emotional for me. It transformed my life after being wildly successful in business. It helped me define who I am. It's part of my story. It's part of my identity, right? But what I'm passionate about, again, championing other people to do the same, to step into their greatness. We have an opportunity where we'll actually show people the template to, how they can create that for themselves.
Mhm.
So we're good there. Before we end, I'm going to come back to something you said at the very beginning. You were talking about how, so you're going to tease us with the story and then not give it to us. So I'm coming back to the story that I didn't even share today. So we got to
I
do this
forgot about
again.
that. Yeah,
We
do
got to do this
tell.
again, but I'm going to leave. I cannot wait to share with you a story from history here on this continent, here in the Americas. I'm going to call it the $7 million story. All right. And by the way, that's old money. If we were to put that in today's money with inflation, it's probably like 30 million. But the best number I'll give you right now, I'll do a little more research, but the $7 million story and the founding of a university with one person's dream and frankly one person's story. So we'll get that. We'll do that on a subsequent episode. So I'll leave that. I'll leave that.
Oh, the teaser, the cliffhanger. Okay, you guys, now we have to come back and go through that. We're going, yeah, we will set up. Just stay tuned here. Take the link below to go. Hey, okay, here's an idea. Take the link below. Go and study and create your story following the masterclass that we did. And then join us next time where Seth will actually walk us through the $7 million university, foundation of it. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I want to go look it up. And so we're going to do that. We will take the story, maybe dissect the story and pull out the gems so you know how to incorporate the story, the vision of it, the powerful. I mean, think about the stories. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream inspired a nation, inspired globally. So your story matters. Okay, so with that, we're going to wrap it up, and I'm excited for the next live that we do to really get to the university story. Okay, because we
Until
will
then, I'm
have.
going to stay in my box. Until then, I'm going to
Yeah,
stay in my.
we're gonna make sure your box is something
I'm
something
coming
is
with a
going
straight jacket. I'm going to come with a straight jacket next time, and that way I won't be able to move around.
on. Or you could. Well, we're going to figure it out. Okay, with that, folks, we're going to say see you next time. Just be sure to comment below, let us know what's going on with your story and, what you think of the masterclass. We'd love to hear it. So, with that, and we're going to go ahead and stream out. See you next time.
Make it great.